All right, so ICO research checklist. So ICO stands for initial coin offering. You see, the interesting thing about the crypto industry is that it's very easy for people to crowdfund. We're predominantly dealing with open source software, so it's very difficult for companies to be able to monetize this. Oftentimes when open source project is released, anybody can copy it, anybody can participate in the network. That's the open source element is truly what kind of makes it decentralized. And as a result, often you'll have like a token sale or a token exchange where someone will create a certain supply of tokens for the network. And usually they have utility on the network. They can be used as gas to be able to create certain contracts, or perhaps for fees and things like that, or to help secure the network, such as Bitcoin. And so what people will do, and this is not all projects, some projects are called what you call like a fair launch, which is just they just launch it and anyone can start mining from ground zero. And with ICOs, big projects like Ethereum, what they'll do is they'll raise funds for development so that they can work and have a job to contribute to the open source community, right? And so oftentimes these can be profitable and sometimes not, and sometimes there are ones that are outright scams. So there are a couple of things that you want to look for if you want to participate in one of these ICOs. Number one is innovation, right? Is the project offering anything new? Is there any real reason to contribute money to this particular project? Because we are dealing with open source. There's a lot of copycat projects out there where people just kind of copy and paste code and then try to raise money for it. But what are they really offering as far as innovation beyond marketing hype? Now, some of them will actually make a lot of money regardless. A lot of them will raise money even if they are just kind of copies of other projects. But for the most part, you really kind of want to make sure you're looking for projects that are offering something new to the ecosystem that other developers can build on, right? Also, look at the project team. Check out their reputation. Did they contribute anything over on GitHub? Do they have any prior business experience? Do they have a good standing reputation in the community? Or are they just some, anonymous developers you've never heard of before? That have no reputation or that have a shady reputation. So you want to, or no business experience, right? So you want to make sure that it's got a solid team. Usually the bigger the team and the better the reputation, the more successful the project's going to be. But even if you have a really solid team and innovation, you really want to look at pre-market saturation, right? Because sometimes what will happen is that if the project is extremely innovative and the team is really, really good, people get extremely excited, and what happens is you can end up in a pre-market bubble, right? Where the price, there are certain models out there where they'll say, okay, we have a certain amount of supply, let's just call it, for example, 80 million coins that we're going to, or tokens that we're going to be selling, and we won't have a cap on the amount of money raised. So if they don't have a cap on the amount of money raised, then that means the cost per token is going to be high if there's a lot of participants. So the more participants that come in, the higher the cost of the token is, right? If there's too many participants, then you end up what's in a pre-market bubble, right? And if you're in a pre-market bubble, it means that all the buyers are in the pre-market and the price is really, really high. And it means when this token hits the exchanges during price discovery, there are no buyers left, right? And so the only place for that coin to go is down, right? So you want to really kind of pay attention to the market saturation. And then community sentiment, right? What's the community saying about it? Is anybody calling it out as a scam? You really want to look at both sides of the coin, and even use Google and put the coin project in beside the word scam and see if anybody has any critiques on it and really look at it objectively. Now, sometimes people are just trolls and they'll just cry wolf for nothing and say everything's a scam and get exaggerated. So you really have to kind of differentiate legitimate concerns versus people who are just used to trolling or against a particular project because they happen to be a part of another crypto community.